Hello, Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and welcome to my stamping and creating. So this is going out on a Facebook Live and is being recorded, so you will be able to watch it back either on Facebook or on YouTube. So it's very much a warts and all stamping and creating, so if I make a mistake I will correct it, and hopefully you'll learn not to make whatever mistake I make. That's assuming I make some. I don't always, but occasionally I do. Anyway, so today I've already shared with on Facebook this rather sweet tunnel card, and the reason it's called a tunnel card is when you open it, at the moment it fits flat straight into a normal size envelope, but when you open it up and you latch the panel, it then creates this tunnel, which hopefully you can see. I'm just checking, make sure that I am live and that you can see this. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. Oh, looks like I am, which is good. So, as I said, so it creates this sort of triangular tunnel here, and then it's up to you how you decorate it. Now, I've opted to, I was going to say make life difficult, but it's not difficult. It's just a question of getting the glue in the right place when it comes to this portion here, because as you can see it actually moves. So I'll talk through how to do that, and obviously to make the actual card itself. So that was my first one that I have already posted onto Facebook. This used, just so that you are aware, the Sentimental Park stamp set, and there's a little die that I've used as well from the die set. And the paper itself is actually a host set from the main catalogue. So there's a bit of colouring with some stamping blends, the stamping, all sorts of bits and pieces going on. Nothing too complicated though, so there's nothing to worry about on that one. In fact, there's nothing to worry about on any of them, to be honest. And as you can see here, I sort of haven't put a new piece of grid paper up because I'm running out, so I was just being very careful today. And then the second one that I have already made is using By the Bay. She says, I'm just double checking, oh, I can't see it. No, sorry, Seaside Bay. And I've used the coordinating paper with that. So this time, rather than a basic white coloured base, I've actually used a coloured piece. But you make it exactly the same way, and then this piece, as I said, it just moves so that you can then have it flat, and so that when you look straight on, it's straight at you and not sort of wonky. Although you might like it wonky, but anyway. So this is the card I'm going to make, but I'm not going to use either of those papers. I am actually going to use the Irresistible Blooms stamp set, and the dies, and also the paper, which is called Hello Irresistible. So the Irresistible Blooms stamp set you will find not in any catalogue. It is one of the online exclusive items. So it comes as a stamp set, and it's cling, so that means it's red rubber. And then also there is a set of dies to go with it. Now, I've already shared a few cards on Facebook, one using this round die. So this will not, actually it might just, yeah, it will just fit into the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We've got one that's long, and then we have a few intricate leaves, and then there are a few of these which will in fact cut out some of the Hello Irresistible paper, and there's actually also a photograph of that up on Facebook. But this one, so basically these basic leaves here, these two and that one, will cut out an images I should say, from a sheet of double-sided paper, and then these two will also cut out for flowers from the double-sided paper. So those are the dies. So I'll put them to one side for a second, and then the paper, it's 6 by 6. There's lots of it. So there's 48 sheets. There is 12 each of 4 different designs. Oh, wrong way. 4 each of 12 different designs. And of course, as usual, they are double-sided. So you get a mixture on the back. So these are the leaves that I was just talking about. So this leaf, this type of leaf, and that little leaf will can be cut out. The flowers you can cut out, the larger one, so you've got, and then the smaller one, and then you've got some more little leaves as well. So those little leaves can also be cut out. So the paper, there's images where you've got like a repeat pattern all over. So we've got leaves, we've got flowers, but then there are also a number of sheets which have a design on it that you can use for a card front, or you can cut into strips. So I've just picked these ones out to show you. So we have one with the flowers, we have one with foliage, which now this is Pretty Peacock, and I've already mentioned that there's going to be a colour refresh this year, first one in 5 years. And the reason we know that is, one, the paper in this pack, it actually tells us on the pack itself, on the sheet at the back, that it includes Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. Now these are 2 in colours from a few years ago, so it was like a hint that it was going to be a refresh because these are coming back. And then Stampin' Up confirmed end of last week that yes, there was going to be a colour refresh, but we don't know anything else now until the end of March, so we've got to hang in there and find out what's actually going and what's coming back, which will be lovely because I love Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. So I digress. So we've got these 2, so we've got flowers, we've got foliage. So we have that one in foliage, we have this one which you may have seen on a card that I posted. In fact, this paper here was a strip of it that I had the long die on. And they've got more foliage and more foliage. So these particular sheets are good for doing like a whole card front or strips. It's really up to you what you want to use. Now I'm going to use this one to decorate my card. So I'm just going to put the others to one side. And I guess we should make a start. So we're going to need our trimmers. And I couldn't decide whether I wanted to use just a basic white base card or a coloured base card. So and I decided, I was going to say last night that I was going to use white, but now I can't find my white. I thought I had put it to one side. Oh well, hey. So, maybe, oh yes, here we go, sorry. It's here. Oh, it's hiding under my laptop. Right, here we go. So, I would suggest, if you're making a base card out of basic white or very vanilla, that you use the thick sort, simply because it just makes it a lot easier, and it's a lot more not stable's not quite the right word because cardstock is stable, but it's thicker, so it does stand a bit better. So we're going to start with my thick A4, and what we're going to do is we're going to start off by cutting it at 14.9 on the long side. So we would basically be creating a just a normal card base. What I decided to do was I've actually trimmed 1 centimetre off this long side, what's left, so that in fact the cardstock is going to be 14.9 by 20. The reason I'm doing that is simply because it makes it a lot easier to score at half centimetres or whole centimetres than it does to try and work out a quarter, and then if you kind of misjudge it slightly, then it doesn't look like it's a perfect triangle. So I've trimmed this, so say it's 14.9 tall. You could do 15, which means you just need to adjust the other paper sizes and things by 20. And then you're simply going to score it on the long side. And remember that the lighter coloured grey is the scoring blade. You don't want to be cutting through. So you line this up with the 5 centimetre mark, and we're going to score that. And then we're going to score it at 10 centimetres. Like so. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. So that's pretty simple. So we now have our base card. So we have the two two smaller panels on the right, and then the larger panel on the left. And then you're going to fold it in half like you would to make a normal base card. And you're going to give that a really good burnish with the bone folder, like so. So really now it's no different from what we would normally do to make a base card, but we have this additional score line here. And what you want to then do is you want to fold this so that it's a mountain fold, so it comes up towards you. And again, you want to burnish that really well. So there we are. So this basically will then form our tunnel card. And then we just need to decorate, and we also need to make a panel here that will hold this fold open. So if you see here, hopefully you can see that this is the basic card. So all that's left to do, as I said, is to create the piece here and to decorate on the front. So we're going to start off with the decorating. Now, as I said, I was going to use this piece here. So if you have paper that is like a continuous design going across, then I would suggest you cut the two panels as one to start off with, and then cut them in half, and then you know which way your design's going. But first of all, I just need to trim this so it's half a centimetre smaller than from the top to the bottom. So the question then is, do I cut it from the top or do I cut it from the bottom? So I need it to be 14.4 centimetres, which actually is not that much I'm taking off, because this is 15 centimetres by 15. So I'm just going to cut that piece off. And then these two panels were for the paper that you would want. So this is 5 centimetres wide, each of those panels. So I would need two panels that are 4.5 centimetres. So the trick then is to cut one whole panel which is at 9 centimetres, like so, and then cut it in half at 4.5. Like so. Okay, so that when you glue that on, you then have a continuous picture pattern going right across. So we're going to glue that on, because the next thing I want to do requires it to sort of dry for a couple of minutes. So wet glue is always your friend when it comes to these things, because it means that you've got time to move stuff around. So we're just going to glue these on. All you need is just a bead of glue, a light bead of glue around the edge. And I don't even go directly to the edge, because I know the glue will spread slightly. So I'm going to put that piece on, like so. Trying to get my white around the edges to be sort of equal. And then the second one you're going to put on. It doesn't matter which of these two you put on first, as long as you remember which order they need to go in and have your card front the right way round. You don't want to be sticking the one upside down or anything like that, which is kind of what I did the first one. I had to pull it off. And then all you need to do is make sure that your top and your bottom are in line. Like that. Okay. So you've got border all the way around, then you've got a much larger border in the middle here, but that's not an issue because a lot of that is going to be covered up. So, right, the next thing that we need to make is the piece that's going to sit on the card front here. So this is the bit where you can use coloured cardstock if you want to, or you can still use white again, it's really up to you. And I'm going to use, let's see, yeah, I am actually going to use, I'm going to use some Petal Pink. Cardstock, although it doesn't look Petal Pink in the video, but it is Petal Pink. So this piece, I need to cut something that will fit in here, and need to make sure that I end up with a border that's equal. So I need to cut this at 7 centimetres. So, no, actually, you know what, I'm going to cut this in half and work only on half of it because I don't need to be chopping up a whole. In fact, I don't even need to be chopping up a half. I'm going to cut that again as well. So then I know I've got a card front and a panel. So I need it to be 7 by 11.9. Now I know I'm not going to get 11.9 out of there because it's 10.5. So I'm going to go the 7 here. And the 11.9 here. So that will sit on here. Like that. And then we also need a piece of designer series paper, which, oh, I think that might just fit, which it needs to be 6.5. No, is that 6.5? No, it's not. Oh, sugar. Let's see, I do have this piece and I like this piece because it's, so this piece, as I said, was the bit that I used the other day on another card, but I'm going to use the reverse side because I think that's quite sweet. And it doesn't detract too much, so I need that to be 6.5 by 11.4. So again, this is to ensure it's 0.5 centimetre shorter and narrower than the cardstock. So this will sit on there like that. So I'm going to glue that. We have a little bit more cutting to do, but I'm going to do that in a second once I've finished this portion of the card. So we're going to glue this on. Like so. So that is going to go on there like that. It's just a tad bit in the wrong place. So let's take that off and start again. Just says and probably put it back down in the same place. Right, I'm just going to use my thumbnail to flatten that edge because it's sticking up a bit. So I've now got my piece of coloured card and a piece of double-sided paper glued to that, and then we're going to fix that to the card front. Now the reason I'm doing it now is that I want the glue to dry. So don't leave this portion to the last minute and then do it and then try and make the tunnel because it will sort of collapse on you. So the trick on this is to use wet glue. You don't want to be using tear tape or anything like that, because all we're simply going to do is we're going to put a bead of glue on that center fold line. And also you don't want to be going all the way up to the top from the bottom. You just want to put it sort of in the middle 2/3. And as I said, all you need to do is you need to put a bead of glue, a line of glue down that center fold. So I don't know if you can see it, it's there, from there to there. And then you're going to simply stick this on here, making sure that it's central on the card front. Okay, push down in the middle and just leave it to one side for a minute. So it's like that. So it's just glued on that center line. It's not glued anywhere else. It may sort of start popping up a little bit, but don't worry about that. So leave that whilst we do the piece that's going to go down the side. So I'm going to bring back, actually I think this should just about be wide enough. So I'm going to bring back my trimmer, and I'm going to need a piece of cardstock that is 3.5 centimeters, which is pretty good on this. That'll do, by 14.9, which is perfect. So that's fine. So that's exactly what I need. And then I need another piece of the paper, which needs to be 14.4 by 3. So I'm just going to trim this slightly, like so. So 14.4 by 3. Take that away again. So I'm going to glue this to that. And then I'm going to need some dimensionals. And I'm saying that now, and I'm kind of scanning around trying to find mine, and I can see where they are, so that's fine. Give me another 5 minutes and I'm sure I'll have buried them. So I don't know if you've checked out the online exclusives. There are the stamp sets, there's dies, there's the circle punches. There are 2 circle punches that have returned. So we've got the 2-inch circle punch and also the 1 3/4 circle punches back, which I'm really happy about, because that makes my life so much easier when it comes to classes and things. Because it means I don't have to get my die machine out. But not that I don't mind die cutting, it's just circle punches are just quick and easy. Right, so I've got my piece that I'm going to stick on the card as well. So this is going to actually go here, just so you know. And it will then prop this piece open. And you want to put that on with dimensionals. It just makes it easy and make sure that it will catch the that triangle. You don't need to go mad. You can if you want to, but having said that, I do use 8 on it, so I guess that's kind of mad. So I don't need the backing on that because I'm going to take that off. So there is a reason I'm doing this in this particular order, and you'll see in a second. So this now fits onto the inside of the card on the far right side, and you just need to line it up with the edge and the top and the bottom, like so. And then what happens is you're going to catch your tunnel like that, and then, because this is already slightly dried, you're going to move this slightly so that it is level. You don't need to be too fierce with it, just sort of gently move it about. and then leave it to dry like that for a bit longer. So that's the basic card, and then all we need to do now is we're going to cut a white panel to go on the front there, and we're going to decorate. I should have some white left from cutting that card. There we go. It doesn't, I mean, normally I would use just normal basic white, but I've got this to hand, so, and it doesn't really matter, it's fine. So I'm going to cut this, and it needs to be 6 by 10.9. So actually let's go cut that 10.5, so I've got the panel again. So I'm going to cut that to be 6. This is then good for sentiments and things, by 10.9. And then this is the piece you're going to decorate. So this will, when it's finished, fit directly into there, like that. So, $64 million question is, how are we going to decorate this? Are we going to put a sentiment on it, or what? I think I'll put a sentiment on it to start off with, and then I will decorate. So, let's see. Now this is, it doesn't say that this is at 90% or anything, so that is the exact size of the sentiment. I know that will fit on there. Hello will fit in there. Hooray, it's your day. That would fit if we were making it landscape, but as you can see, it doesn't quite fit if it's portrait, so I'm not going to go with that one. And I like you. I'm not sure about that one. I think I might do this as a, actually I'm just going to use hello, but I can stamp it flat, or I'm just going to stamp it flat to start off with, and then if I don't like it I could always correct that. So we don't need any of these dies at this precise moment in time. Oops. But we do need the stamps. And as you can see, I've not used the thank you yet. So let's take that out. Like that. I think I might put that sentiment sticker on quickly. So just peel off that backing on your sticker sheet. Peel off the backing on your stamps. That's an important part. And then you're just going to line this up in that space. So just start at one end and then lay it down like so. That's that. And I'll just take off some of the sticky by tapping it on my hand. Right, so I've got that. So that's going to go there. In fact, what I think I might do is I might put this, put that on there and then stamp that over it. So I need some ink, which I do have. I have all sorts here. So I've got soft sea foam, which is not really appropriate. Got basic black, which might be good for the sentiment. It'd be a bit too stand out, I think. I don't need so saffron because there's no yellow in this. So I've got Flirty Flamingo, which I think will be good for the sentiment. So I think that goes quite nicely. I do have an old Pretty Peacock, but I'm not going to use that. And I also have Petal Pink. So I'm going to use the Petal Pink to start off with. This is where I remember that I haven't actually re-inked this, but hey, we're going to give it a go. Apologies for the neighbours. They're out walking the dog, making noise, but hey, you might not have been able to hear it. So we're just going to randomly stamp that. Actually, yeah, no, I'm not going to put any more on. It might be a bit OTT. At least it'll be a bit OTT for me. So close that and put it away. I'll use the thank you. Yeah, so this doesn't look like a normal Stampin' Up block. It is. It does say Stampin' Up on it. It's just simply one that came in a kit, one of the all-inclusive kits. So this is going to overstamp this with Flirty Flamingo. And double check that I haven't got it around the edges, which I have, because I did press quite heavily onto the stamp, onto the ink pad. Something really you kind of need to try and avoid if you do get ink on the edges here. Just simply wipe it off. I mean, I've got it all over my thumb now, but hey, that does the trick. I'm going to huff it because just in case it's dried out slightly. Let's see, line up that with the grid paper and hope that I've got this straight and stamp the thank you. There we go. So that's in the middle there. And then what are we going to do? Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some leaves. And then I'm going to do a couple of flowers, which I'm then going to die cut. But I'm still going to keep it simple. So, I said I had the soft sea foam, didn't I? Yep. So I'm going to do the leaves in that. I don't want it to be too dark. So I'm going to put these, let's see, trying to work this out. Either way it's going to go off. There is some smaller leaves. Maybe they will work a bit better. I don't really want them going off because at the end of the day the flower's going to go here. So actually, you know what? I'm not going to stamp it on here because they will be going off. So I'm just simply going to bring back that piece of thick basic white that I had. I'm going to stamp on there. I'm going to stamp 3. This is where I should have done it. Here's one I made earlier, but hey. Until you actually get to do the stamping and the putting together, sometimes you never really know what it is that you're going to do, so that's my excuse anyway. That's a bit big for that. Let's take that off there. I do have lots of blocks, but I can't. They're in my little trolley here that's next to me, but I can't see them. Right. I'll put that one there. Put that one there. And then I'm going to stamp some flowers as well and die cut them. Bring back the Flirty Flamingo. Take that off there. Just loosely stick it to there. And I don't want the huge flowers. I think I'll just stick to the smaller one. I only need 2. And one there. That's fine. Now, this piece will not go through my small stamping cabinet emboss machine. Just moving these out the way so that I can bring that over. So I need to cut it up slightly. sort of leaves on. It's like that. There we go. Right. So I just bring in the machine. Let's put this out the way so it doesn't get squished. Put that there. Right, here we go. You can just about see it, can't you? But actually, at the moment, I just want to take this out. Because I've cut these up, actually, I'm going to change these plates over. I'm going to make my sandwich, and I'm going to use the dies. But because I don't have a magnetic plate for this, I am going to use some of old washi tape so that I know that this is not going to move around, so the die is not going to move around. So it's just a question of lining up the die with the image. Put a tiny bit of washi tape on it. And then, because I'm doing it this way around, I can die cut all three of those images at the same time. And it also means that so you're not going backwards and forwards with each individually. And again, using the washi tape just means that I know that they're not going to shift around. If you've got low tack tape, that works too. I just happen to have quite a fair amount of the old washi tape which retired a while ago, so I'm just kind of making use of that. And it's great for this sort of thing. And then that one, which I'm hoping I'm lining up correctly, like so. Right, that's that. So I've got make my sandwich, so I've got plate 1, plate 2, and the other plate 2. Stagger them slightly and then just run them through the little mini machine. Trying not to wobble the table too much. Let's see, you can see it's coming out. Oops. I don't think my phone liked me moving then, because I think it went a bit pixelated. But hey. Right, whoops, so that bit's stuck, so I've got one image here, I've got another one here, and a third one there, and I just need to repeat after taking the washi tape off. Sometimes it's easier just to leave that on there, because I'm just try and reuse some of it, but it doesn't always work. Right, so that's this one. That can go on there. That will fit on there. So that's that one, and that's that one. I'm trying to reuse it. And not lose those at the same time. Hey, that's it. Nearly done. So what colour, which colours or colour would you not like to see go leave us at the end of April? Just intrigued to know. My current favourite are actually some of the current in colours that will be retiring, so I know they're going to be going, so which is a shame, but hey, this is Stampin' Up's way of staying on trend when it comes to colours with the in colours, because they're only good for 2 years and then they can change them out for other colours, so we always know up front that they're only going to be around for 2 years. So it's, from that point of view, it's okay. That's that bit, and that's that bit. So those are all the dies, put them back there in the hope that I don't lose them. Put that back on here. Let's have a bit of a tidy up, because I'm a bit of a messy so-and-so. Just thrown that and it missed completely, but hey. Right, okay, so we have our base card, which is drying quite nicely now. We have our panel that's going to go on the front. I've got an extra leaf that I haven't actually cut out. And you can decide where you want the flowers and the leaves. So I think I'm going to put a leaf in here. And a leaf in here, I think. We don't want them really sticking out too much, but at the same time you want a leaf. And then I've got a couple of extras, but hey, right, okay, so I digress. Let's get some dimensionals. Let's be brave and put these on with dimensionals. So that one's going to go there, so let's just stick that on here like that with a dimensional. That's going to go there with a dimensional. And let's stick another dimensional on here, like there, just for some stability. So by the time you take the backing off that, put that on. Actually, you might need another one by the looks of it. It's always easier to add one, just literally lift it up and put it in, like so. And then again here, put two at the back. And I've got that one kind of in the front. So that's that. So that's going to go on here. And I know that when this folds down, you see, it will be fine. It's not going to stick outside of the card. So from that point of view, it's not changed the shape or anything. And I think I'm going to, because I've got dimensionals on there, I'm going to glue this on rather than put extra dimensionals on. Like so. So that's going to get glued on here. Again, trying to make sure I've got an equal border around. Now, if I could put something here on that portion there, but I'm not going to at this moment in time. So that's what my card looks like. Hopefully you can see. There's lots of shadows, sorry about that. And then when you stand it up, it will, from the top, look like that. And as I said, it fits neatly into a standard C6 envelope. Now, I could, if I can, where are they? I've got some loose dots. So the other item that goes with this suite are these loose frosted dots. And there's lots of them. So you can hear them rattling around. And in fact, there are, it says on here, I'm sure it says how many. I thought it did, but obviously not. Quantity. I think it says 200, but I'm not really seeing it very well in this. But there are different colours. So you've got Pretty Peacock. You've got, there's a very Flirty Flamingo. It's not, because it's not quite pale enough. And then you've got Daffodil Delight. So you've got the large ones, then you've got one that's the next size down, and then you have itty bitty ones as well, like that. So you've got 3 different sizes, 3 different colours. I'm going to put, let's see, what should I do? Because they're loose, you have to glue them. That's the only downside to them, is that you have to glue. And I don't have any of the glue with the fine tip glue pen. So I'm just going to have to wing it with my Tombow and see how we go. Hopefully we don't have too much coming out. In fact, at the moment we don't have anything coming out. Oh, gentle squeeze, and then I'm going to use my Take It Pick tool. And I'm not going to put a huge one on, I'm just going to put a small one on, like so. Let's see, what should I put on? I put a smaller one on. That was a smaller one I put on, wasn't it? Like that. And then I might put an itty bitty one on. So I might put that one up here, I think. And again, you can go to town doing these. I try not to think about it too much, because if I do, then I kind of go a bit mad. I'm quite happy with 3. I might end up putting a couple more on later, but at the moment I'm quite happy with just the 3. I mean, you could put them on the centre of the flower, but for me that's slightly over the top. So that is my Irresistible Blooms tunnel card. Let's put the lid on that because I know what's going to happen. Let's have a little tidy up so you can see everything. And I've still got a couple of leaves left, but that's okay. I'd rather have done too many than not enough. So that's that card. So that's how that one is going to look front on. I would stand it up, but you're not going to then see it. All you'll then see is the tunnel. So that's that one. That's today's. And then here are the other 2. And that one. So there you go. So those are my 3 tunnel cards. This is the one that we've made today. And then there's 2 that I made earlier. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that. This will get uploaded to YouTube, and the YouTube description, when it gets loaded, will have all the cutting instructions. So if you would like to replicate this card, then you'll be able to refer to that description. And if you would like to purchase any of the items I've used, then you can visit if you visit my blog, which is stampinup.com, and then at the top it says shop. You can click on that and that will automatically take you to my shop. Or if you want to have a look around my blog, there's lots of things to see on there. And then obviously my YouTube, if you would like to subscribe to it, that would be brilliant. And I will be back next week with a virtual card and a cuppa. Okay, hope you have a good week, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.